Hey, Lincoln.
Hello, sir.
Hey, Lincoln, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We just had our meetings about it. Yeah, it's like the dark arts. Yeah. I think my
Sorry, Helen. I'm not sure I've got the right link, but
You're not seeing
don't
the captions.
I'm not seeing the captions.
Let me grab the link for you.
Thank you.
Oh, I haven't started it. That's why.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, okay,
I
no
thought
worries.
I'd started it. One moment. I'm writing now, Ron.
Oh, yes, I can see, Helen. Thank you. Perfect. Thanks, Helen. Morning. Hey, Anna. Everyone, for you.
Yes. It's very. Yes. How are you? Let's see, Brendan. Oh, right. This is Brendan. We were supposed to hearing out of Australia. Yes. Yeah, and the other side. Big sheet. Well, no, I couldn't go. Yeah. Yeah. So you have to know what I'm doing. Yes.
Oh, there is. Huh? Oh, okay, cool. Oh, it's online as well, is it? No, okay.
Just.
Oh, okay. Right. Um, Hi, everyone. I think we might just get started. So welcome to this information session on the Join Us initiative. It's really a result of a collaboration between the George Institute for Global Health and Macquarie University Hearing. But before that, let's just do the welcome to country. No volume?
Only tested it. Say it again. Apologies for this.
At least we've got the captions right. On where? Yeah. But have you heard the new one? The new Welcome to Country? There's a newer version. I don't know if we've got this new Macquarie version. It's beautiful. It's a new version. It's really beautiful. Yeah. So we'll probably have to use that one next time. So as I said, this is an information session on the Join Us initiative. But before I get our guest speakers to come and present and talk about Join Us, I thought I just give you some background and context as to how this collaboration and initiative came about. Yeah. So a few years ago, my team and I, we had some difficulties when it came to participant recruitment and reaching recruitment targets for some of the studies that we were conducting at that time. So one of those studies was HALOS, which most people do know about. And at that time, I reached out to other researchers at Macquarie University Hearing, including, I think I talked to Kelly and Jörg about some of the difficulties they were experiencing, but also academics from other universities who had very similar challenges when it came to participant recruitment for hearing research. And as researchers, we know that these sort of challenges can then lead to delays in the research being delivered. And as a result, there are additional costs that were probably not factored into the original study budget or your grant budget. There's this risk of not completing key project tasks and milestones and then requiring funding extensions. And it's probably not a cost-effective use of government or industry funding, which drives quite a bit of the research within the hearing health sector. And these challenges around reaching recruitment targets means that there are underpowered studies which can threaten the empirical value of research. So, for example, findings from these studies may not be able to be published And as a result, the research has limited impact on patient health and well-being in the future as well. There's also limited involvement of consumers with hearing loss across that whole research pipeline. And then what we get is this same pool of people with hearing loss who tend to be involved in multiple research projects. So they do feel overburdened and there's quite a bit of workload for them. So we're trying to avoid that and trying to look for solutions around this. And there's also the risk that our research tends to be limited by the same perspectives and the same experiences. So you're not capturing that wider cross-section of the population with hearing loss. So we started looking at some of the solutions that might be out there to address these challenges that we as hearing researchers were facing. And one of the solutions was a participant or volunteer recruitment registries, both here in Australia and internationally. These registries provide a systematic mechanism for consenting volunteers to reach out directly to the research team or to the registry staff. And they have the potential to increase research efficiency, expedite good quality research outcomes, reduce costs, and ensure efficient use of time, resources, and funding. These registries, both here in Australia and internationally, have been shown to empower the public and patients and encourage broader community engagement and research. They can promote and support the interests of the public in engaging with and being involved in research beyond just being participants. So they really have that potential to embed a co-creation or participatory approach across that research pipeline. And I think the real promise with these sort of registries is that they could help to raise greater awareness around the importance of hearing health and hearing loss in the general public and help to reduce stigma around hearing interventions and hearing devices. So we started looking at what was available in the first instance in Australia, and we came across Join Us. And Join Us was brought to my attention actually by Diana Tang, who's in my team. So Diana couldn't be here today, but she did want to share her experience with using the Join Us service. I'll just read out her testimonial. So Diana says, the process to promote my project was straightforward. I filled out a registration form and was contacted by a Join Us team member to confirm I had ethics approval. Join Us created a web page and promoted my project through their channels. The setup process took 4 weeks, and as soon as my project was live, I was getting expressions of interest. It was great. Potential participants were contacting me rather than me having to find potential participants. So that saved me a lot of time. So at that time, I know that Diana was actually struggling to get participants for her dual sensory impairment well-being project. So she was really stoked with how efficient the whole process was and how easy Join Us made it for her research. Diane also wanted to share a testimonial from one of her consumers that she recruited through the Join Us service and who's now part of her program advisory group. And this is Elizabeth Miller. And Elizabeth says, being registered with Join Us provides opportunities to become involved in research projects which interest me. My connection with Dr. Diana Tang via Join Us has proved to be mutually beneficial because I've been able to share from my lived experience, from the knowledge I gained through my background training and in various health-related employment, and from my engagement in other research projects, expanding my research learnings further. In addition, becoming a member of Dr. Tang's Wellbeing Program Advisory Group has enabled me to have a longer involvement with this worthwhile co-design project, which will benefit those with dual sensory impairment. And so from what I've heard from Diana is that Elizabeth is a fantastic member of her program advisory group, and she brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise, which Diana values favorably. And she said this connection would not have happened if it wasn't for the Join Us service. So I just wanted to give an overview of what's been achieved and what we're currently up to. So back in 2024, we secured funding from the Martin Lee Center for Innovations in Hearing Health. for this particular project. We then started having discussions with the Join Us team and then finalized a collaboration agreement between the George Institute and Macquarie University Hearing in August of this year. And in October, so last month, we formally launched the collaboration, and we're currently in the process of raising awareness of Join Us via various avenues, including social media and through newsletters from through our partner organizations, and of course also through these sort of information sessions that we'll have. And really the objective of this collaboration with Join Us is to ensure that we're increasing opportunities for Australians to take part in hearing research, but also to help hearing loss studies and hearing health studies reach the right people more effectively. So this is some of these socials and the posts that we've got out there. So I think this was created between Jess and Duncan. Is that correct? Yeah. So they're really great, as you can see. And we're leveraging our current networks and collaborations to get the word out. So for example, we're trying to raise awareness of Join Us through the ANZ Hearing Health Collaborative. This is a collaborative that I co-chair, and it's got about 70 volunteer members who represent the hearing health sector and more broadly. And then, of course, we're also trying to raise awareness through the universities, UNSW, Macquarie University. And so this is something we'd love your help on, get the word out, try and advertise it as widely as possible through your networks, please. And yeah, so I think I'll get Jess and Helen to come up and just introduce them. And all questions, if you have any, we're going to take them at the end of the session. So Jessica Smith is a project manager at the George Institute for Global Health, where she leads Join Us. With over a decade experience in projects and public health, Jess is skilled at building partnerships, advancing health initiatives, and delivering complex projects from concept to completion. She holds a Master's of Public Health from the University of Sydney, where she focused on health literacy and patient engagement. I'm just going to read out Helen's bio as well. So Helen Monahan is the head of clinical trial partnerships for the George Institute, where she is also operations lead for Join Us. Additionally, Helen is the research operations manager for the implementation to impact program within the School of Public Health. Helen has more than 30 years of experience working on clinical trials at the University of Oxford and Imperial College in the UK. Helen has worked on many multi-center clinical trials and currently in her role works to strengthen the George Institute's clinical trial partnerships across Australia, particularly with the Australian Clinical Trials Alliance. So welcome, Jess and Helen.
You're just going to be my slide. Are there notes? Yeah. Okay. Can we just...
Well, then you're going to see them here too.
I could just get mine.
Yes?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sorry. Charles, I don't want to show them on the screen.
Yes. It's just on my desktop anyway. Oh, sorry. So yes, hello everyone. I'm Jess Smith. I'm project manager at the George Institute for Join Us, and Helen is also here today to answer any other questions. Just before I get into it, I also just want to say that Join Us acknowledges the traditional owners of the land across Australia as the continuing custodians of country, and acknowledge the many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of this land. We pay our respects to First Nations people and elders, past and present. We also acknowledge and celebrate the knowledge and strengths of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples and communities and recognise their continuing connection to land and waters. We thank the many Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities and the individuals, organisations that have supported it and guided us through our Join Us journey. Also just wanted to note the beautiful graphic that was designed by a team member of the Gunamana team at the George Institute. So in a nutshell, Join Us is described as a national, not-for-profit, disease-agnostic participant register for Australians aged 18 years and older who are willing to be contacted about research. It was formed in 2020 by the George Institute and UNSW Sydney. But to understand why it exists, it's good to just have a look at, the reasons why it was developed. So it really aims to help overcome the research recruitment challenges in Australia. There are generally high levels of community interest in participating in research, but most people do not hear about the opportunities and only a small minority ever take part. At the same time, researchers find it hard to recruit participants, as we've heard from Bamini, and timely access to large numbers of potentially interested participants is an ongoing key challenge. Failure to meet recruitment targets can result in projects being terminated, underpowered, and delayed, and require additional expenditure to achieve their original objectives. There is also a plethora of registries and websites focused on specific diseases, seeking to better connect their community to research opportunities. While some of these are successful, there is an alternate model that seeks to minimise duplication of effort and maximise efficiency. Disease-agnostic research registers provide a single access point for community and researchers working across all disease areas. So the Scottish Health Research Register SHARE, the United States Research Match, and Healthwise Wales are international examples of disease-agnostic registers. These registers have collectively enrolled more than 500,000 participants and supported hundreds of research studies. So how does Join Us help solve the problem? So this is quite clinical trial specific information, but it does apply to all areas of research. When we looked at research recruitment, we found that the challenges sit across three main areas: participants, researchers, and the general system. For participants, there's often a lack of awareness around research opportunities, and many don't know how to get involved. Join Us helps solve this, providing a single trusted entry point where everyone in Australia can register once, set their preferences, and be contacted about relevant studies. For researchers, recruitment can be a resource-intensive and fragmented job. Join Us helps streamline this by managing the invitation process, maintaining ethical oversight, and provides access to pre-consented and engaged participants, reducing the administrative burden and advertising burden on research teams. At the system level, we know that recruitment remains siloed between institutions and disease areas. Join Us was designed to help connect these silos, acting as a national platform that's disease agnostic and designed for cross-sector collaboration. So I'm going to now recap how the register was developed. And it was co-designed through an iterative process using input from consumers, key community members, and more than 50 health and research organisations nationwide. Partner organisation representatives that were assembled during the project's inception are still engaged today. Join Us is, these are a few of the ones that you can see on the left there from the project partner organisations. Join Us is led by a management committee with an independent chair and an advisory committee made up of community members and research sector representatives. The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Engagement Advisory Group and the Consumer Engagement and Recruitment Advisory Group were recently combined into one advisory group. Join Us has ethics approval from UNSW and also the Sydney Local Health District, and all updates to our operations, data management, and participant-facing information is submitted for ethics approval. There are core staff at the George Institute and UNSW that provide leadership, strategy development, and day-to-day operations. So we now have almost 10,500 Australians who have registered and given consent to be contacted about research. Participants come from every state and territory, representing people across different age groups, locations, and health backgrounds. You can see the geographic location of the participants on that heat map, and we have strong representation from metropolitan areas and are steadily increasing our engagement from regional, rural, and remote areas. The age split is on the top right, with the 18 to 30-year-old age range most represented, and then second is the 61 to 71. And you can also see that the majority of Join Us participants identify as female. This growing community shows that many Australians want to connect with research when it's made easy and trustworthy. So these are the 18 health condition categories that are presented to Join Us participants. Each category has individual conditions listed within it. I'm just showing you an overview of the percentage of participants within each category. It's also important to remember that participants can be represented across multiple categories. So as well as the rural, regional, and remote participants on the heat map a couple of slides ago, we look at the diversity demographics of the Join Us cohort in terms of country of birth, language spoken at home, and Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander status. I've only shown the top 5 countries of birth and languages here, otherwise the graphs would be really, really big. However, participants are provided with a broad range of countries and languages to choose from. As you can see, 3.2 of the Join Us cohort identifies as Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander, which is directly in line with the last census data showing 3.2% of the Australian people identify as Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander. We're also working to improve cultural and linguistic diversity through targeted outreach and accessible messaging. Reaching underrepresented groups remains a key goal of Join Us. So I just wanted to show you what the conditions affecting the ears and hearing section of the health questionnaire looks like. And this is what we put together with Bamini's team. And so this is in the health questionnaire what people can answer and tick the boxes for. And currently in the ears and hearing condition categories, we have the hearing, what's on the screen, but also keep in mind that our previous health questionnaire versions, we did ask people if people had a cochlear or stapes implant and if they had hearing loss that required a hearing aid. So the hearing loss section was only added in, the hearing loss cause section, sorry, was only added in the June update, which is why the numbers are so low there, because that's only been asked quite recently. So an explainer for how Join Us works for participants. Registering with Join Us is free, obviously, and open to Australians aged 18 years and over. People with or without pre-existing health conditions are welcome to join. To register with Join Us, you just go to our website and click the Sign Up Now button. There's an e-consent and a downloadable participant information form. You then fill out some contact and demographic information before moving on to the health questionnaire. All in all, it does take about 10 minutes, less usually, to sign up. Once you've successfully signed up, the participant data is sent to Salesforce, where the contact and some demographic details are stored. Then the de-identified health data is transferred to the UNSW-based Erica database. Having 2 distinct databases and enacting a physical separation of the data was raised as a key point by our advisory committees during the design of Join Us. Participants can also update their details, health conditions, and preferences at any time in the participant portal. And obviously they can withdraw from the register at any time using our Withdraw Now page. We send out a quarterly newsletter to all participants in the register called the Join Us Journey, which includes any updates or improvements that have been made to the platform and highlights currently recruiting studies. We also have a summary of the website information provided in easy read format and 8 different languages. So how does it work for researchers? So Join Us accepts ethically approved studies from across Australia. Investigators submit their study information and eligibility criteria to the Join Us operations team via an online form called the Researcher Access Form. The operations team then performs a matching of eligible participants to the study requests, and we develop a study webpage and study invitations for researchers to review. Invitations are sent by the Join Us team, not by the researchers, which prevents any direct disclosure of participant information. Researchers only receive responses from individuals who have actively expressed interest in their study, and then it is up to the researchers and the potential participant to engage and move forward with recruitment into the study. We also ask that researchers provide us with their recruitment results and the number of participants that they receive from Join Us. One change that has occurred in the last few months is a cost recovery model, but that doesn't actually apply because in our collaboration agreement with Macquarie University Hearing, it's free for university hearing researchers to use. So don't worry about that. We also send out a quarterly newsletter to researchers called the Join Us Update with any news, collaborations, and recruitment related information. Just for your information, for any colleagues that aren't in the Macquarie University Hearing, it's $2,000 for investigator-led research and $5,000 for industry-led research. So Join Us has already supported more than 150 research studies across Australia and has sent out over 75,000 invitations. These include clinical trials, longitudinal cohort studies, and smaller public health and survey projects. I place an asterisk next to the recruitment success rate. As you can see, there's a huge range there, and it's really, really variable. We find there are multiple factors that affect recruitment and success rate, such as when the eligibility criteria is really narrow, meaning studies have very specific filters of health conditions or age limits. They obviously have fewer matched participants, which reduces the potential pool. If there is remuneration or participant incentive, this can affect engagement rates. Topic relevance, some conditions or study topics resonate more strongly with the Join Us cohort, and it also matters how the study has been communicated by the researchers. Study size and target numbers. Smaller studies can reach higher recruitment percentages quickly, while larger studies may recruit many participants but still show a lower percentage because their targets are really high. I've included a couple of quotes from researcher feedback, one of them being Dr. Tang. Okay, so at the moment, we are currently working on 2 different collaborations, which expands the reach of the register and increases our pool of participants. It also means that these groups don't need to build their own registers, but can leverage the extensive work that has already been done by Join Us. Obviously, the first one that has gone live now is the Macquarie University Hearing one, which is really exciting. We worked with the hearing team to update our health questionnaire, as you saw. We added more hearing conditions and questions, and we're also providing them, to come, with a digital dashboard, which is in the process of being built, to track the number and demographics of people in the register with hearing-related conditions. So that's going to be a great resource for researchers wanting to access Join Us as well. And on their side, Macquarie University Hearing are promoting the register through all their networks, which will hopefully boost the number of people in the register, not only with hearing conditions, but across the board. And the second collaboration I just included for your reference is due to go live early next year, is a Join BP collaboration. This is an MRFF funded initiative based at the George Institute, and it's a specialised sub-register within Join Us focused on people with hypertension. Again, we have updated we just got ethics approval to update our health questionnaire to add in a couple more hypertension related questions. And Join BP will utilise their extensive networks in the hypertension space to inform more community about Join Us. I just wanted to also say that it's really important to add that neither of these collaborating organisations provided with any identifiable participant information, and they don't have access to the Join Us databases. So one of the strongest advantages of Join Us is that it offers a large pre-consented pool of participants who are ready to be contacted about research. This means that recruitment can begin almost immediately and saves time. Because Join Us is disease agnostic, it supports studies across any health condition or intervention, from prevention and lifestyle research through to clinical trials and registry studies. So this flexibility makes it a shared national resource. And the national coverage means that we can reach participants across urban, regional, and remote areas, helping researchers access more diverse and representative research samples. And finally, Join Us is not for profit, so it's unencumbered by commercial interests, meaning it's accountable to the participants and the researchers that it serves. It was built with a high level of governance and strict adherence to data, privacy, and ethics guidelines. So as much as has been done since Join Us launched, it's important to be honest about the work that needs to continue. Join Us is still building scale. Obviously, a larger participant pool will improve matching and make recruitment more efficient and the register more effective overall. Currently, matching is based on the information provided at registration, so it's not real-time clinical data. While participants have access to a portal to update their details, study teams may still need to introduce some screening questions after expressions of interest. Further to this, most Join Us participants come from the general community and not hospital patient pools. This is a strength for reaching people who may not commonly be invited to participate in research, but it also means studies may need extra steps to confirm eligibility. Join Us requires ongoing investment to ensure its sustainability, as the platform requires staffing, database costs, and more. One part of this is the cost recovery model for researchers, which was introduced in August this year that I just spoke about, which does mean that there are now budget implications to consider for researchers when using Join Us to recruit. Not for you guys, though. So where do we want to go? Our main goal of Join Us is to scale from 10,500 to 100,000 participants, which will mean researchers will be really likely to quickly meet their recruitment targets through Join Us. Another aim of the register is to be embedded into state or national infrastructure, and we're actively looking for opportunities there. We want to deepen our connection with health professionals like GPs and hospital clinicians, and also upgrade the platform to enable an up-to-date feed of the majority of clinical trials being run across Australia. This would broaden the scope of Join Us and make it a more powerful tool in connecting the Australian public with research that's relevant. Lastly, it would be amazing to create a register that serves the whole Australian population, including children. Just last week, when I presented at ACTA conference, I had multiple pediatrics researchers and clinicians come up to me after my presentation and explain how valuable it would be if we had children in the register as well. We do currently have a parent/carer question in the registration form, but we don't collect any participant data related to children. So where to go for more information? This is the QR code that was provided for me. I think it goes to a SharePoint site. It goes to a SharePoint site for you guys.
We're setting that up.
Okay, it's being set up. Okay, you heard that. Yep. So reach out to one of the team. And this QR code just takes you to our website. So yeah, thank you very much. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Do we have any questions? Was all that clear? It must have been really clear. Very clear, yes.
Thank you. What an awesome initiative. I was just wondering, with the screening process for the participants, so obviously we have a lot of online studies and, you know, there's a lot of people who you can't verify are real. Is there a process in place that I missed that you spoke about? How do you screen for that the participants are actually who they say they are?
Yeah, that's a good point. We don't actually, we've had researchers ask this before. We don't really get that many bots or fake people coming through Join Us, because it is, you have to fill out a registration form in order to be in the register. So you're not receiving the invitation really if you're a fake person. Sometimes if there is a really high incentive offered, you will get people that maybe want to join that maybe don't meet the criteria. But what researchers generally tend to do is, in the first instance, do a quick survey where people can fill out that survey if they're interested, provide their details, which we don't give to researchers, so their email or their phone number, and then it sort of goes from there. I think very quickly researchers can realize if they are not who they say they are. But again, it's actually really low in Join Us because it's not just open to, it's not like a social media thing.
Yeah.
It's a pool. Yeah.
I'm saying it just because I did put one on social media and I saw what happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it happens a lot on social
Yeah.
media. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Do you sort of partner up with other existing sort of long-term health research studies? Like I've been a participant in the Tasmanian asthma study since 1967, so nearly 60 years. In fact, I'm doing another session next Monday. So do you partner up with some of those studies to get additional research participants? Because that's a really extensive one. In 1967, all school children were tested, and they've kept it running for nearly 60 years. So they've got a pretty extensive database.
Yeah, that is, we haven't actually gone down that. We did try and access, it's the one, Sachs Institute, 45 and up. But again, they're quite protective of their database and their pool. They get asked all the time researchers to be advertising to them. So they were very protective of that. But you're right, I haven't actually found other larger cohort studies, and that's a great avenue to explore.
Seeing as I'm talking to them next Monday, I could alert them to
Please bring it up. Absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be great. I would love to. That's a really great.
Don't get many Tasmania. But they're not all based in, like, they signed up 60 years ago, but then
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow.
Sorry. Yeah. So basically, this particular study, all 6-year-olds in 1967 were signed up into this particular program by the Tasmanian government. And then every 5 years, they contact you, you get to do a bunch of tests. Now it's administered by Melbourne University, and Prince of Wales Hospital do the testing, but the doctors come up from Tasmania.
Okay.
So they get very excited every time I agree, because they get to come up from Tasmania. Right. But they've kept this, and they reckon they've got people in Sydney. So this program and this database has been running for 60 years or near on.
how many?
I'll find that out. Yeah, I'm spending a few hours with them on Monday.
Yeah. It's a really good avenue.
I've got one question, and maybe I missed it. How long does it take? I know it's on average, but how long does it take for researchers to access participants?
So generally our time. Yeah, generally the average days is 37 days from request of submission to the campaign sent. Yeah. And so that, that's us going through a bit of, we do ask that researchers have ethics approval to recruit through a public register, and that they have a way to track Join Us participants. So if it's a survey, how did you find out about this? Join Us is included there, because when we come to survey you at the end of it, it's great for you to be able to have that number. And yeah, and then there's a bit of back and forth about what the study web page looks like and what the invitation, the content on there. But yeah, we generally do ask that researchers keep their study titles as short as possible and make all their study information really accessible. It's something that time and time again, it could be the most interesting study in the world, but if someone's not able to engage with it in the first 2 lines, it sort of, misses the mark. So, yeah.
Thank you. So I might just add to that. So we're working together with Duncan and Jess and the team and your team, Jess, but Jess Turner as well, working on a process for everyone at Macquarie University Hearing to access Join Us. So we're not quite there yet. It's almost complete. But what we want to do is work with Jess and her team to make sure that your requests are as complete as possible when you submit them, and they are so that you are as successful as possible when you then reach out to registrants. So we'll use what we want to do. We're not going to control or filter any of your requests. We just want to put you in the best possible position. So we'll share some tips and ways, and Duncan's already prepared a fantastic page for you to see the tips and the things you've got to do to make sure your requests are processed and accepted as quickly as possible and as successful as possible in reaching and getting participants. So hopefully this is a few days away. Yeah. I think some of it is on my desk. So, but we'll get that done. Jess has also agreed for this presentation to be recorded, and so please, check the tips and ways to, we won't duplicate anything. We'll probably reuse, well, not probably, we'll reuse the same form so that you don't have to do the work twice, but we just want to help you be in the best possible position to access Join Us. Yeah.
So I guess the other thing is to mention that all of you can join Us as well. You don't have to have a particular condition to be able to join. So I'm a Join Us participant, and I've taken part in 2 or 3 different studies. One was about sun balance, sort of, vitamin D versus sunscreen and building awareness there. And another one was a stroke prevention study. So I think that's the real advantage, is it's not just limited to people who have a disease or condition. Anyone can join and anyone can take part in studies, and it's great. It's really interesting to be a research participant and be on that side. So just wanted to add that. So, advertising really widely is really what is going to be most beneficial. Thanks.
Sorry, I was just going to say, did you want to add some? Oh, we were also thinking about getting these postcards made and leaving it with clinics and or organizations. So maybe if we leave it, for example, with Hearing Matters Australia as well, you can hand it out to your members, and maybe MQ Speech and Hearing Clinic and great. Yeah. Very happy to get the word out through all those networks. But yeah, we'll make some nice postcards based on something that you've already got out already. Just maybe need to tailor it to the hearing research. Yeah. Okay. I think that's any other questions? No. So I hope all of you sign up.
Great. So thank you very much to Jess and Helen for coming and talking to us about Join Us. Thanks for all the work that's been done, to everyone in Bhavini's team and the George Institute's team. I think it's a fantastic collaboration. It's very exciting. I think it would benefit all of you. So thanks again. We've got some pizza outside. I think that's a phone call I'm getting now. So I'll go and get them. So please join us just now for lunch, and I'll continue the conversation with Helen and Jess if you want. Thank you very much again for coming. Thank you.
Oh, great. Yeah. yeah, no, I'll just send it to you. Oh. Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, yeah, great. No, that would be helpful. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, easy.
The members of the
I speak to you.
Yes. We just said that. Also, and it, yeah. So that. Oh, yeah.
So if if you're interested, you would probably give it a once. I'll do that. I'll do that. I can shut stuff around. Yeah. To squeeze it in because they go. Yeah. And so they'll go. The print edition will do a vision for conclusion, a big inclusion, get it really wide.
Yeah, just let me know if you want.
I've sent you.
Sorry.
I've sent you popularly since it when we do yeah. Do you know when we did the announcement initially? I said about members.
So
Out of the press release.
So we have to make it look a bit like a history in reading it as opposed to, because like I had to rewrite that for one.
Yeah.
Because it was a bit too dry.
Yeah, just let me know what I sent you was very much release editorial. We're doing hearing partition next week, but just waiting.